I'm now going to bring out the Alyssa Allgood Organ Quartet. They are so incredible. Alyssa has been a pal of ours for several years. We've done, this is the second kind of iteration of a series that I've hosted, and she was a guest of ours back in the other place at a place called the Whiskey Lounge. She is an incredible singer, and she's a youngster. She's still, I'm not going to give away her age, but she's a young singer and a very true young rising star. And she is she's performing tonight in a classic organ trio. And the classic, in a jazz sense, a classic organ trio is organ, guitar, and drums. We're going to get into a little later about why that is a typical ensemble. But that lineup is a very common lineup in jazz. And so I think you're in for a real treat. This is Dan Chase on the organ. That's Greg Artry on the drums, and this will be Kyle Asche on the guitar. But for now, I'm going to give it up for, and please help me welcome the Alyssa Allgood Organ Quartet. Come on out, folks. I will be back at the top of the second set to talk to them.
Well, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's wonderful to see you all from what I can see. Got the good stage lights on. We're so excited to be here. As Steve mentioned, I was a part of the Whiskey Lounge a few times, and I performed here with Paul Marinaro, who's a great friend of mine, and it's exciting to be here fronting my own group, and we hope you enjoy. We're going to be performing a mix of some of our favorite jazz standards, as well as arrangements from our very brand new release. It's actually not going to be available until November, but you're so lucky because we actually have copies already here for sale. So hopefully you'll want to take one of those home with you. And we're going to actually get started with the title track. This is our arrangement of a wonderful standard entitled Exactly Like You.
I know why I've waited, know why I've been blue. I prayed each night for someone exactly like you. Why do we spend money on a show or two? No one does those love scenes like you. You make me feel so grand, I want to hand the world to you. You seem to understand each foolish little dream I'm dreaming and the scheme I'm scheming. I know why my mother taught me to be true. She met me for someone exactly like you. I know why I've waited, I know why I've been blue, because I prayed each night for someone like you. Why do we spend money on a show or two when no one does those love scenes like you? You make me feel so grand, and you seem to understand those dreams I'm dreaming. I know why my mother taught me to be true. She meant me for someone like you. each night for someone exactly like you. Why do we spend money on a show or two? No one does those love scenes like you. You make me feel so grand, I wanna hand the world to you. You seem to understand each foolish little dream I'm dreaming and the scheme I'm scheming. I know why my mother taught me to be true. She made me for someone exactly like you. Exactly like you.
Thank you so much. Exactly like you. And I did hear Steve kind of mentioning that tonight we're going to be presenting this kind of classic jazz organ group, and hopefully from that first song you can tell why I love singing with this particular kind of instrumentation so much. I think the organ-based group, I think, lends itself to a certain kind of energy that's just so fun to be a part of. And we'd like to continue now with another song from this new record. This is a song written by the great trumpeter Lee Morgan, and these are some lyrics that I wrote. The first CD I released 2 years ago celebrated the classic Blue Note records, which is still around, and they had a very important part of jazz history, recording people like Lee Morgan and Wayne Shorter and John Coltrane. Basically any of the great iconic jazz artists you can think of was probably on that label back in the 1950s and 60s. And I wrote a lot of lyrics to some of those songs. I wanted to kind of keep that a little bit part of this new project and show something that I like to do of writing lyrics to instrumental songs. And this is Lee Morgan's Hocus Pocus. And these lyrics are all about when maybe you're new into a relationship and you're not quite sure if it's love or what it is quite yet. And then you kind of trust it and it turns out being what you hoped for. So this is called Hocus Pocus.
Magic fills the air when you kiss me. You take me where I've always dreamed that I could belong. You taught my heart the song, all because you have held me close in your arms. Now I am wrapped in your charms. I never thought I would believe the spells your beauty could weave, but now I'm over my head, flying high above the skies, lost in your eyes. You have left me hypnotized, but I'm still trying to see clear. Can this be love that makes time float far above the world and all of its mystery? The things you do to me make me believe it's love. Shabu babu 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 blue way. Fue babu babu da 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 babu. Sabu da 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 babu da blue way. Sada da da babu babu way. So babu 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 da 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 da. Sabu babu babu way. Magic fills the air when you kiss me. You take me where I've always dreamed that I could belong. You taught my heart the song, all because you have held me close in your arms. Now I am wrapped in your charms. I never thought I would believe the spells your beauty could weave. But now I'm over my head, flying high above the skies, lost in your eyes. You have left me hypnotized, but I'm still trying to see clear. Can this be love that makes time float far above the world and all of its mystery? The things you do to me make me believe. Ooh, it's
Thank you so much. The great Lee Morgan. All right, we'd like to continue with a song that's not from the upcoming album, but it's a really wonderful standard, one of my favorites to sing. This is called You and the Night and the Music.
You and the night and the music fill me with flame and desire, setting my being completely on fire. You and the night and the music thrill me, but will we be one after the night and the music are done? Until the pale light of dawning and daylight, our hearts will be throbbing guitars. Morning may come without warning and take away the stars. If we must live for the moment, love till the moment is through. After the night and the music dies, will I have you? And the night and the music fill me with flame and desire, setting my being completely on fire. You and the night and the music thrill me, but will we be one after the night and the music are done? Until the pale light of dawning and daylight, our hearts will be throbbing guitars. But morning may come without warning and take away the stars. If we must live for the moment, love till it's through. After the night and the music dies, will I have you? Fill me with flame and desire, setting my being completely on fire. You and the night and the music thrill me, but will we be one after the music is done? Until the pale light of dawning and daylight, our hearts will be throbbing guitars for morning is through, after the night and the music dies, will I have you? After the night and the music dies, will I have you? After the night and the music dies, will
Thank you. Thank you so much. So I think a kind of a fun thing about singing jazz is that in one set of music you can sing something by Lee Morgan, and then you can also sing something out of the Michael Jackson songbook, which we're going to do for you next. And hopefully the idea is that the way that we've kind of put our spin on it still makes all this music sound connected. And that's been a really fun thing. Getting ready for this particular project and other groups, Dan does a lot of really wonderful arrangements, or we do some writing together, and it's really fun to just kind of explore different inspirations or different kind of influences and bring them to this particular setting. So this is a great Michael Jackson hit done a little bit differently. This is Rock With You.
Close your eyes, let that rhythm get into you. Don't try to fight it, there ain't nothing that you can do. Relax your mind, lay back and groove with mine. You gotta feel that heat, share that beat of love. I wanna rock with you all night, dance you into the sunlight. I wanna rock with you all night. Out on the floor, there ain't nobody there but us. Baby, when you dance, there's a magic that must be love. Just take it slow, 'cause we've got so far to go. You gotta feel that heat, share that beat of love. I wanna rock with you all night, dance you into the sunlight. I wanna rock with you all night. And when that groove is dead and gone, you
Thank you so much. How about it for Dan for that great arrangement? So this next one is actually one we wrote together. So in addition to writing the music together, we've been together for a little over 5 years. And about a year and a half ago, we decided to adopt a dog, which at first seemed like the worst decision we've ever made because we got her in December and we had to start dealing with taking her outside to use the bathroom in the snow. So I don't recommend getting a new puppy in December. It's not a very good idea when you live in the city. But since then, she's actually been, I think, probably one of the best decisions we've ever made. She's brought a lot of joy and happiness and love into our life. And this song was actually inspired by a trip to the dog beach, of all places. If you haven't been there, I personally think it's sort of like heaven on earth because there are just dogs and people all getting along for the most part and feeling very happy, and their son. And our dog, she'll be 2 next week, and she's still a little bit shy. But this one time we took her to the dog beach, I felt like she finally acted like a dog. She was carefree, she was running around, she wasn't so scared. And I have this really beautiful image of our dog and Dan running in the water together, and it just reminded me how important it is to have people by your side to kind of help you let go of any fear or kind of inhibitions that you have. So this is a song for our dog, and it's called By My Side.
The shore gives way as I feel my thoughts start to fray. I'm caught up in the current's way, drifting away. The shore pulls me and cover what my mind can see, but hope won't go quietly, for you are with me. I can run freely through this unknown tide, knowing you are by my side, unafraid. My heart lets you guide. The shore appears now that I've let go of my fears. The tidal wave of question clears as my future The shore gives way as I feel my thoughts start to fray. I'm caught up in the current's way, drifting away. The waves pull me and cover what my mind can see. But hope won't go quietly, for you are with me. I can run freely through this unknown tide, knowing you are by my side. Unafraid, my heart lets you guide. The shore appears now that I've let go of my fears. The tidal wave of question clears as my future nears. As my future nears, all the fear just fades away. Oh, because you are near. La da da la da 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 da. La da la la da la da ya do do da da ya do do da. So da 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 da. So da 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 da. So da da ba 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 da 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 ya da 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 ya. So da 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 ba da 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 ba ba ba. So da ba ba da 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 da. So da 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 ba da ya da da. So da 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 ya ba ba ba. So da da ba 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 ba. So thank you. So could you see dogs kind of swimming in the water, hopefully? Well, it might sound crazy, but in the second set, we actually have a second song about our dog. So if you thought that one was weird, stick around for the next set. What do we got next? Oh, yes. We're going to continue with a great song, and this is one not written by Count Basie, but made very famous by that band, one of their signature songs, and one that the great Ella Fitzgerald recorded and performed with them many, many times. And I was very fortunate enough, about a year and a half ago, I traveled out to Washington, D.C. To participate in the Ella Fitzgerald voice competition, the first one that they had. And the night before the competition, we actually got to hear the Count Basie Orchestra, and it was amazing. They sounded just incredible, and they performed this one. And I think it inspired me, because the next day I took first place, which is really exciting. Thank you. So I will try to channel my best Ella in the best way. This is Shiny Stockings. shiny stockings that I wear when I'm with you. I wear because you told me that you dig that crazy hue. When we go to a dance, do you think of romance? Oh no, you take a glance at those shiny stockings. Then came along some chick with great big stockings too. You smiled, but then you left me lonely. Why, I never knew, and I guess I'll have to I'll go find a new guy who digs my shiny stockings too. So yada yada da da yada yada da. So yada da yada da 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 yada da da da. Shabba ba da 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 ya ba 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 ya ba 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 down. Say do 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 ba 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 ba. Say do 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 ya do do oh. Say do 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 ya do say do say do 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 do. So do 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 ya do oh ba ba ya bo ba ba ya bo ba ba ya bo ba ba. So do 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 ya do 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 oh. Say ya bo ba bo ba ya do 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 ya do 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 ya do ya do do. Say say do so do 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 ya bo bo do oh. silk shiny stockings that I wear when I'm with you. I wear because you told me that you dig that crazy hue. And when we go to a dance, do you think of romance? Oh no, you take a glance at those shiny stockings, and then came along some chick with great big stockings too. You smiled, but then you left me lonely. Why, I never knew. And I guess I'll have to I'll go find a new guy who digs my shiny stockings too. A new guy who digs my shiny stockings too.
Thank you so much. You know, it's amazing. We were talking earlier as we were doing the sound check of if I was going to use the mic stand, and I said no because I have this like terrible history of I close my eyes sometimes when I sing, and I'll bump my mouth right into it. And even while holding my microphone, I just keep bumping my mouth into it. I think I just got to get that checked out. Well, we're going to do one more song for you before we take a quick break. And during the break, the bar is back open. I did hear that during the beginning that we went very quickly through the bourbon, so I know that you're my kind of audience, which is great. And we're going to close out with one that I think I probably have performed here in a very different way. This is a great Charlie Parker composition and standard that was originally written and intended to be an up-tempo bebop song. And I recorded it like that a number of years ago, and then I really started listening to the lyrics of this song, which I'm about 99% sure Charlie Parker actually wrote. And they're heartbreaking. And I thought that it would make a really good ballad. And so we've been sort of doing it in that sort of rendition. So we hope you enjoy this version of Yardbird Suite.
That's the thing that I found out. Too late, I guess, 'cause I'm in a mess. My faith has gone. Why lead me on this way? I thought there'd be no price on love, but I had to pay. If I could perform one miracle, I'd revive your thinking of me. But I know that it's hopeless. You could never really care. That's why I despair. I'll go along hoping, yes, I hope someday you will learn that this flame in my heart, dear, this flame I could perform one miracle, I'd revive your thinking of me. But I know that it's hopeless. You could never really care, and that's why I despair. I'll go along, hoping someday you will learn that this flame in my heart, dear, forever will burn. Yes, this flame in my heart, forever. This flame in my heart, dear, forever will burn.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
The Alyssa Allgood Quartet. Dan Chase, Greg Artry, Kyle Asche.
Thank you.
Just incredible. Beautiful. So please do stick around, folks. The bar is now open. We'll take a very brief break, and we'll come back. I'm going to talk to the folks a little bit when we get back. It'll all be part of the radio show, and a quick little interview, and then more music. But first things first. And good news, we still have bourbon. Thanks, you guys. I'm going to clutter up your bench for a minute. We are nothing but professional here. Once again, we want to thank WDCB for being one of our sponsors, and they run spots, they help support what we do, and they give voice to a lot of Chicago artists, particularly jazz artists. We're very thankful for that. So, the show that we're recording this evening will be broadcast at sometime in the next couple months, I would guess. Not quite sure how many I've got in the queue, but it will be coming up. And we're really thrilled to have you back. This is really fun. The last time you were here, I was just kind of thinking back through history. Last time you were here with Paul Marinaro, I believe, yes?
Yep.
It was the two of you together.
Yes.
I mean, it was a double bill. It wasn't just one as a guest on the other.
Right.
Yeah. But you've got another new project that you've been working on, a new record. Tell us about that.
Sure. Well, it's called Exactly Like You, and actually I wasn't a very good business person because I told you I had them, but I didn't tell you where they are. There's a nice little table right in the front there, so if you were interested in taking some music home, you can do that. And as I mentioned, my first CD that I released was a sort of a theme project, and it was music of the Blue Note, iconic Blue Note recording era. And I decided for this one to kind of get away from a theme and really just kind of focus on bringing a set of music together that really spoke to me, something that I felt really passionate about singing, and then hopefully it sort of sounded cohesive enough. So I think that we at least accomplished that.
Yeah. So this is music that's more kind of diverse in its selection, you feel?
Yeah. So we have a mix of some of the just Great American Songbook standards. We have the Michael Jackson "Rock with You." We also have a Stevie Wonder song, which will be performing in this set. The two originals, and then a couple instrumental standards. So it's kind of a wider variety of kind of what we're doing. Okay.
Well, and truth be told, I spend the other half of my life in a recording studio, working myself in a studio. So there are a couple things that always come up working with artists. One is what makes the cut, what actually gets recorded, and the second is what order things fall in. And song order always seems to be the bane of everyone's existence, trying to figure out what follows what. But how do you determine when you're got a more diverse group of songs? How do you determine what is going to make it, or what were the defining characteristics of these tunes?
Yeah, well, I think part of it, kind of thinking about the whole album as if I was performing it in one set of music in its entirety. So kind of thinking about having a nice kind of variety in tempos or styles. Also, part of it was sort of like, what are things that I'm currently singing that I love to sing, or what are some ideas that, like for example, we actually saw Stevie Wonder perform when he was in Chicago a few years ago, and the song that we recorded is called "If It's Magic," and it was the one song that he performed that made me cry when I heard him sing, because it was so beautiful and pure, and I just said to Dan, we have to record that. We have to do something with that. And I think it's sort of again, kind of a combination of what does the set look like in terms of kind of flow, but also what am I trying to say with the music? And again, did I have anything that really spoke to me that kind of moved me to really put that in a permanent kind of recording?
So lift the hood a little bit on how the arrangements go. I know that Dan, I know that you write a lot of the arrangements, but is that a collaborative process for the two of you, or what exactly goes on?
Yeah, I think.
And I'm happy to have Dan chime in.
Yes, that's a collaboration. I just do all the talking, and no.
I see. That's how that collaboration works. It's completely unfamiliar to me.
No, so I think, well, actually, I think the first time we tried arranging together was for the first project, and it was, I'll take the blame for it. It was just not successful because, trying to say a nice way of like, I don't really like that idea. And it's like, what do you mean you don't like my idea? It was my idea. It was the best idea. So we've kind of gotten through that, which is good. I've gotten through that, which is good. So yeah, it's kind of like, so If It's Magic, again, that was sort of my idea to bring that to the table, and then sort of letting Dan kind of run with that. We also have an arrangement of Darn That Dream that we'll be recording, and we decided to, or that we will be performing. We decided to record that one in 7, and that was just one that, that was just one that for some reason I just kind of heard it that way, and he kind of was singing along with it, and then that's kind of the idea, and then I just kind of let Dan go with it. And then it's kind of a matter of, you can speak on that process, but then it'll be sort of, then we bring it back together, and then I'm kind of singing through it, and like, is this singable? Does it still keep the song and its sort of integrity of the song and not take away too much, but still adding our own kind of spin?
Yeah. Dan, you have anything to add to that?
So one thing about collaborating we found is that you kind of have to be honest with each other, even if it's painful sometimes. So
Yeah.
So and it goes both ways too. Like I'd have this like idea I was super proud of, and I'd bring it in, and then she's like, "This doesn't match the idea of the record at all. Like this doesn't fit." So I kind of had to pull myself back about what I wanted to do and think about the record as a whole. And I think we did that pretty well together. So.
Great. The collaborative process is hard anytime you put two people together with strong creative minds. You put them together in a room, and there are things that work, and then things there's obviously going to be friction at some point, or it's, why do you have two people? But when it's a working couple, that adds extra fun, doesn't it?
It does. It sure does. Yes. But so far we still like each other.
That's
and
good.
We did our second album, so we're 2 for 2, so we're doing okay.
That's good. Dan, when you write the arrangements, do you conceive them as a whole, or do you, in other words, are you mostly thinking about what you're doing and then ask the other players to sort of craft parts around your idea, or do they come in your head fairly fully formed? Obviously, it's jazz, so everybody's, it's stuff is just happening, everybody's contributing. But in terms of the arranging, how thorough are the arrangements, do you think?
So the arrangements are usually pretty much thought out. What I'll usually do is I'll write something out completely. I won't like write a particular drum part because I'm not good at like writing out dictating drums. So what we'll usually do is I'll kind of bring in an arrangement and put it in front of them and kind of like give them a little bit of free rein. And usually it ends up someone adds something that I really like, and that'll kind of become part of the arrangement, or they'll just tell me that doesn't work here because of this. So it's never like fully done when I bring it in. So it's usually kind of a group effort, I'd say.
Sure. Well, it certainly is a tight group, and boy, the stuff that is, it ought to be freewheeling feels nice and loose and groovy, and then the stuff that needs to hit together is really landing. So I'm back there screaming. I'm having a blast. So. Is
Thank
there
you.
anything else that you wanted to mention? The stuff that's coming up, or any of that stuff that
Sure.
you want to know about?
Yeah, well, obviously we've been talking about the CD, and I have two big shows coming up in Chicago. We'll be doing a weekend at Winter's Jazz Club the second weekend of October, which I believe is the 12th and the 13th. And this will be the same group doing some of the songs that you've heard tonight, and then we'll throw in some others as well. And then I'm very, very excited to be doing my first weekend at the Green Mill in November with the same group, as well as another sort of celebration of the record. That's going to be the second weekend of November, which is the 9th and the 10th. So got a lot coming up, and we'd love to see you again for that.
Wonderful. Well, this is the Alyssa Allgood Organ Quartet. That's Dan Chase on the organ. We didn't even get into discussing the organ. I guess we'll just save that for another time. Greg Artry and Kyle Asche.
Yep.
Can you pronouncing that correctly? Good. I'll edit that out of the radio. The bleh part. And of course Alyssa Allgood. And thank you so much. It's really wonderful. So back to the music. Thanks, folks.
Great. Thank you.
The more I see you, the more I want you. Somehow this feeling just grows and grows. With every sigh, I become more mad about you, more lost without you. And so it goes. Can you imagine how much I want you? The more I see you as the years go by, I know the only one for me can only be you. My arms won't free you, and my heart won't try. So do ya do ba ya do 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 ya do 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 ya. So ba boom la de ba da 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 da. So do la do da do da 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 ya ba ba ba. So da da ya boo boo we da 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 do ya da 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 da. So do da da ya da do we. So do do ya da da ya do do la do la do la do la da. So ba ba da da ya ba. So ba ya ba we ba 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 da da ya da ya. So do ya da da do ya bo ya bo ba bo ba da da ba do la ba da da. So ba we da da da. So do da ya da ya do ba da da. Shabba-dabba-dee-ya, bo-la-dee-ya, dee-ya, dee-la, dee-ya, dee-ya, dee-doo-wee. Sa-day, sa-day, doo-ya, dee-loo-wee. as the years go by. I know the only one for me can only be you. My arms won't free you, and my heart won't try.
Thank you so much. So I know you've all been sort of at the edge of your seat, wondering when we're going to do the next dog song. And have no fear, because the time is here, and it's time to get excited. So, kind of backstory about our dog. I had to convince Dan a little bit to get her. A lot. I had to convince him a lot to get her. And I was, borderline kind of awful about it. I just almost every day be, oh, wouldn't it be so nice if we had a dog? And what if we were sitting on the couch together and there was a little dog? Or what if we went on a walk and we had a dog together? And his response always was, we'll see, we'll see. So we finally got her, and we named her We'll See. And this is a waltz, sort of about kind of imagining how wonderful it would be to have her, and then finally having her. So it's basically a love song, but we decided to call this Waltzy. One, two, three, 2, 3.
Time drifted by without you, as I dreamed that you could change my view. Then time quickly ran to find you. As I held you close, that's when I knew that the joy you'd bring to me would teach me to believe just how special life was meant to be. Sweetly you revealed a world that set my heart free, for your love has filled me completely. Now time has slowed down to be near you. As I call you mine, love has changed my view. drifted by without you, as I dreamed that you could change my view. Then time quickly ran to find you. As I held you close, that's when I knew that the joy you'd bring to me would teach me to believe just how special life was meant to be. Sweetly you've revealed a world that set my heart free, for your love has filled me completely. Now time has slowed down to be near you. As I call you mine, love has changed my view.
Thank you. And if you are dying to see a picture of her, I could show you one after the show, because she's very cute. Okay, so I mentioned this in our little Q&A. This is a wonderful Stevie Wonder composition that, as I mentioned, was the song that made me cry. And I've been really fortunate enough to see some very iconic singers in the last few years, and kind of had this strange realization or sensation that I actually just cry sometimes when music is so powerful and so moving. And we were both lucky enough to see Aretha Franklin, I think one of the last times she was in Chicago, and I started crying almost, she wasn't even on stage yet, I just saw her in the wings, and I was like, oh my God, there's the Queen, she's right there. And I think that's just such a powerful thing about what music can make you feel when you kind of least expect it. Like, it's not something I was trying to do. And I think I was moved in this particular song on Stevie Wonder's concert because the lyrics, I think, are kind of simple, but also very complex. This is called If It's Magic, and it's sort of a series of questions of if this thing, we consider it magic, why don't we take care of it enough like we should? And I interpret that as being love. And, why don't we take the time for love that we take for all the things in life that don't necessarily matter so much. We get kind of caught up in those things. Just a reminder to make time for those things that are really important. And this is called If It's Magic.
If it's magic, then why can't it be everlasting? Like the sun that always shines, like the poet's endless rhymes, just like the galaxies in time. If it's pleasing, then why can it be never leaving? Like the day that never fails, like on seashores there are shells, just like the time that always tells. It holds the key to every heart throughout the universe. It fills you up without a bite and quenches every thirst. So if it's special, then why aren't we as careful? as making sure we dress in style, or posing pictures with a smile, or keeping danger from a child. To every heart throughout the universe, it fills you up without a bite and quenches every thirst. So if it's magic, then why can't we make it everlasting, like the lifetime of the sun? It will leave no heart undone, for there's enough for everyone.
Thank you about it for Dan for that great arrangement. All right, we're going to continue with a beautiful ballad. This is one that comes from the Dinah Washington songbook, which is a wonderful songbook in my opinion. And this is one I really haven't heard many other recordings besides hers, and it's kind of keeping in that similar kind of message of the last one. This is called This Bitter Earth, and it's sort of an exploration of, at times when maybe things seem very dark or very bitter, I think if you sort of have the courage to reach out to someone, then you realize that it's going to be okay. This is called This Bitter Earth.
This bitter earth yours. And if my life were like the dust that hides the glow of a rose, then what good am I? Oh, heaven only knows this bitter earth can be so cold. Today you are young, but tomorrow, yes, tomorrow you're old. And while a voice within me cries, I know someone may answer my call, then this bitter earth may not be so bitter after all. This bitter earth, this bitter earth can be so cold. Today you are young, but tomorrow you're old. And while a voice within me cries, I know that someone may answer my call, and this bitter earth may not be so bitter after all. No, this bitter earth may not be so bitter after all.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, well, we're going to do one more for you, and this is one that I had mentioned in the little questionnaire. That's not what it's called. A Q&A. Questionnaire. I don't know. I was writing a survey. We don't know what's happening. You can edit that out, too. It'd be great. So this is a great standard called Darn That Dream. It's originally performed as a ballad. And I don't know why. I started kind of hearing it in this different meter. And then we kind of made this cool arrangement of it, which will feature Kyle and Greg. So this is Darn That Dream.
of sight. Darn that dream. Darn your lips, darn your eyes. They lift me high above the moonlit skies. Then I tumble out of paradise. Darn that dream. Darn that one track mind of mine. It can't understand that you don't care. Just to change the mood that I am in, I'd welcome a nice old nightmare. Darn that dream, but bless it too. Without that dream I never would have you. But it haunts me, it won't come true. Darn that dream, darn that dream, darn that dream, darn that dream. I dream each night. You say you love me and you hold me tight. But when I awake, you're out of sight. Darn that dream. Darn your lips and darn your eyes. They lift me high above the moonlit skies. Then I tumble out of paradise. Darn that dream. Darn that one track mind of mine. It can't understand that you don't care. And just to change the mood that I am in, I'd welcome a nice old nightmare. Darn that dream, and bless it too. Without that dream, I never would have you. But it haunts me, it won't come true. Darn that dream, darn that dream, darn that dream.
Mr. Greg Artry on the drums. This is Kyle Asche on guitar. Dan Chase on organ.
And this is Alyssa Allgood.
Thank you so much.
The Alyssa Allgood Organ Quartet.
Thank you. I'll be around if you want to see a picture of my dog or buy a CD. I'd be happy to sign it or drink some bourbon. We'll be here. Thank you so much for being here. Hope to see you again real soon.
Thanks to all of you for coming. Thanks to my buddy Sam back there for making everything sound great. Come back and visit us again. Storytelling tomorrow night. Fred Simon next week. We love you all. Thank you. Thanks, guys.